Alright guys, thanks to a community post I just made, you guys reminded me of this game called Witchfire, which is an upcoming FPS game that has been revealed like 3 years ago and still hasn't released. And by what we're seeing here, I mean the graphics look absolutely amazing. I don't know if, I hope you guys remember this trailer if you've seen it. From the creators of The Vanishing. This game, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, was beautiful, and this one is no exception. Uh-oh. Nice. This is gonna be epic. Alright. I really hope it's coming soon, it's been so long. Alright guys, so whereas this beautiful gothic FPS game gone the last few years, whereas Witchfire gone after almost 3 years of being announced. Its first teaser trailer got a lot of people excited when it was first revealed at the Game Awards in 2017, but not much truly exciting stuff has been shared since this particular teaser, besides some small gameplay videos here and there. Keep in mind this game is still well alive and in full development as we speak, but some of its most important details are mostly hidden from the public. The developers gave a lot of updates on Witchfire on their website, and all were a pretty good read, but I know some people need it from the ears or simply the eyes, and this video is here for that. Before we talk about where is Witchfire and why it has disappeared, at its core in Witchfire, players will be able to combat the numerous evils that plague the dark and gothic lands, with a combination of different and really unique firearms and magic. As a deadly instrument of the church, you are tasked with eradicating all that is wrong in this new world, like witches for example, while discovering what is really happening in this dark age. Doing so will not be nearly as easy as it sounds, as Witchfire is not necessarily a narrative-driven game. Instead, yourself, the player, will discover your own answers as you explore and discover secrets in this open-ended world. Its main subject or enemy still hasn't been revealed though, so we will have to wait for that. As you roam around, you will be able to enjoy many stunning vistas, each one being very different, and also jaw-dropping enemies. In this world, an evil witch influence has stretched across the land, awakening an army of the dead and all sorts of other monstrosities. As some of you might be wondering right now, yes, the developers have said Witchfire will be some kind of looter-shooter RPG, but a lot of people were concerned with this decision, as it wasn't what they were expecting from its teaser trailer, and the updated gameplay also looked too bright and colorful. The developers stated it was simply what they used as color to work on the game. It will be a much darker atmosphere in the end, as the teaser trailer is. Witchfire will stay as a dark fantasy shooter and nothing else. What we're seeing here is all work in progress. You will also be able to turn off all the looter shooter RPG elements in the menu if you feel like it, no worries on that. So, where has Witchfire gone all these years? Well, it's always been there and worked on, but this team, consisting of 8 developers only, are really taking their time with it. I quote from an article made in July of this year. Playdead, a Danish game developer, released Limbo in 2010. It took them 6 years to make the next game, Inside, the Witchfire developers explained. It's been 4 years since then, and we still don't even know the title of their next project, they said. They go on to say that when an indie studio has a properly successful game at first, which was The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, instead of speeding headlong into production on a follow-up, the studio somehow slows down instead of speeding up. This is due to the rigors of production, combined with the task of finding the game, and making sure that the idea is clear before production begins in earnest. This was followed up confirming it has been in full production for a bit now, and they all know what they want Witchfire to be. What makes me super hyped about this game is the fact that The Vanishing of Ethan Carter happened to be one of the most loved atmospheric games in recent years. It was criticized a lot for being a walking simulator, but the reveal of Witchfire made it clear that the team behind this project had taken the best out of it and created a full-on FPS action experience with Witchfire. Witchfire won't be comprised of one area after another buffered with cutscenes. They also don't have the manpower or the funds to make that happen. Instead, they liken their approach to storytelling to From Software games, which means Witchfire will offer various different unique pathways that each tell snippets of the game's story through the strengths of its world design. They also talked about the combat design, which they says combines Painkiller with Shadow Warrior. Witchfire's combat is going to be very jumpy and kind of dodgy. It is heavily focused on being smart and doing different kind of movement while taking care of crowd control situations. Health regeneration will almost be non-existent if a player has just defeated a boss and moves on to find more monsters with little health left over. It adds an intensity of decision, making it the moment that health regen shooters lack. If you have, for example, 5% of health to get through this wave of enemies, defeating them and coming out the other side will feel all the more satisfying, and that sense of relief upon finding a health pack is what these developers really want to focus on. They're also surprisingly very open about any development problems or updates in general, talking about a lot of things they did wrong and always listening to the community. This is a game that will release when we feel it is completely ready, the developers said. As of now, we haven't had an update since July of this year, but once we do get one, if interesting, I will be talking about it on the channel. Make sure you let me know if you'd like to know more about Witchfire by liking this video and subscribe to stay tuned. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks to RickNo23, Themistocles, Pedro Oliveira, and Jigglyboy for being a master member on the channel. You can become a Survivor member for 99 cents only. It'll support me and the channel as whole. Thanks for watching.